Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Now the Republicans, who can screw pretty much anything up, screwed up probably their best option for Speaker of the House. And so they couldn't decide. Petty squabbling inside the party. They couldn't get together on Jim Jordan. Like 20 of them or so. 22, somewhere in there. So pathetic. I mean, just really, really irritating. Jim Jordan, who, by the way, this session has a 100% score from FreedomWorks and a lifetime score of 95.7. So they missed out on a real conservative, and they have 9 options now. He's done. So the 9 options that are running for speaker now are Jack Berman, who has a 57% FreedomWorks score, Tom Emmer, 69%, Kevin Hern at 82%, Mike Johnson, 74% score, Dan Muser, 68%, Gary Palmer, 80%, Austin Scott, 65%, and Pete Sessions, 63%. Pete Sessions. We've been down that Pete Sessions road on some things before. He sucks. He is not good.
Yeah, and that Kevin Hern guy, I saw a graph over the weekend. The Unusual Whales account put this out. And basically, it just says politicians who benefit from war. And so I thought that was an excellent, because he would definitely push us toward it if he were in the speaker's chair, according to the account there.
I believe it.
Yeah, he's
I believe it.
Ukraine, Israel.
Sessions is not the guy.
Per his stock holdings. That was Kevin Hern also, yeah.
Oh, the one guy who does stand out in this list.
Yeah, only one.
Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds.
Make it so.
100% score. How do you pass him up? They will. I mean, does he have a chance? I don't know. Maybe, but he's running, so they've got an opportunity to get an actual conservative.
Yeah. And that
we should start throwing out the racist thing. If you don't vote for him, obviously that's racism.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just start it right now. All right, you don't vote for Byron Donalds, you're obviously a flaming racist.
I can't think of another excuse.
No, I can't either.
And by the way, the Tom Emmer guy that you mentioned, that is Kevin McCarthy's personal pick. So you know that you shouldn't be voting for him for speaker.
At 69%. And by the way, Kevin McCarthy had a 54%, lowest of all of them, by quite a bit. Well, 3% less than Jack Berman, but 54% score, and that's one of the reasons he's no longer speaker. But the main reason was that he didn't fulfill his promises. So, and
did you want to?
The sad part of that is though that Matt Gaetz had no backup plan.
Yeah, well.
There was no, I mean, was there any kind of, hey, once we get rid of this guy, we got this guy? No, there was none of that, obviously.
Yeah, he spoke over the weekend, if you want to see a clip of
Matt Gaetz?
Yeah, talking about what happened there.
Yeah, let's see.
Jordan have no goals, have no asks, have no objectives other than to see the 8 of us suffer some consequence for having removed McCarthy. So we've made them an offer. The 8 of us have said that we are willing to accept censure, sanction, suspension, removal from the Republican conference. We, of course, will remain Republicans. We will continue to vote with Republicans on Republican principles. But if what these holdouts need is a pound of our flesh, we're willing to give it to them in order to see them elect Jim Jordan for Speaker.
Man.
The world's on fire. Somebody's colleagues.
He's still pushing for Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan's gone now.
I know.
Mean, that's over.
I know.
That's over.
Yeah, so that was Friday afternoon. But there's a dark horse candidate that I bet you would be a part of.
And
you would love, Stephen, we're going to need clip 11 here. This individual thinks she might be Speaker.
We're going to see what happens. We're going to see how things unfold.
Cheney.
I think Donald Trump is the single most dangerous threat we face. I would imagine that there will be a number of other candidates in the race.
Would you be one of them?
I think I'll tell you what I am definitely going to do. I'm going to spend the next year between now and the election certainly helping to elect serious people, helping to elect sane people to Congress.
Of both parties?
Yes.
So that means you're out.
Because I think that we could well find ourselves in a situation, given what we know the Trump folks are doing in terms of attempting to question the results of the election. We don't want a situation where the election is thrown into the House of Representatives and Donald Trump has any possibility at all of prevailing under those circumstances. So we've got to elect people who believe in the Constitution and who take their responsibilities seriously to Congress. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time doing that in addition to other things.
But you're not ruling out a presidential run?
No, I'm not.
No, she's not.
Okay. And we'll see you when your book comes out.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Ruling out a president. She's got like a 2% approval rating in her own stupid state.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I know. Isn't that great? So not only is she not ruling out a presidential run, Liz Cheney, but when a rumor came around this weekend that maybe she would be considered for Speaker of the House, she didn't.
Yeah, right.
Say, come on now. No.
Right.
She is delusional beyond words, man.
That's outrageous. Jeez.
How many votes? I mean, how many votes do you think she would actually get for president if she were on the ballot in November?
None. I think 0. I think she'd get none.
How many people are in the Cheney family?
I don't think even her family votes for her. I don't think so. I don't think anybody votes for her if she runs.
So funny.
That's crazy. Here's another little warning about Donald Trump being elected for president.
Okay.
Cher would leave the country.
Sounds like an endorsement.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. It's incentive. It's extra incentive to vote for Donald Trump. Really? Will you really leave though? Is it? I mean, are you? Don't get our hopes up like that.
I know.
And then slap us down if he wins, and just show us that you weren't serious. She said, if he gets in, who knows? This time I will leave the country. Oh wow. Promises. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So if you're kind of teetering on the edge of whether or not to vote for Trump, there's another little added incentive for you.
She's not my type.
What, plastic? All plastic? Not your type?
Who was he saying that about? Do you remember? At the time?
That was the chick that took him to court from the dressing room thing.
Oh, right. Right.
She's a whack job.
Oh, she is. And it was such an unbelievable, unreal story. Yeah. And she won. And she won anyway. Bizarre. Really bizarre. All right. So there was an MSNBC panel discussion on the horrors that Hamas brought to Israelis. This is really serious and dark stuff. So you may not want your kids hearing this first responder in Israel's.
Well, you want the MSNBC
story.
Clip, or you want the first responders?
Let's start with the MSNBC panel.
The government. Let's talk about the people. I want to talk about the hostages, Martin. We were airing a bit earlier, Lester Holt speaking to a woman we spoke to last week. Abby owns 6 family members held hostage. She learned in the last few days. A senior citizen, Carmela, and a young girl, 12 years old, Noya, died. How are they even getting that information about hostages, right? If they're in Gaza, if they've been captured, how are they getting updates? Who is it from?
I'm not sure. But the bottom line is that Hamas is using the hostages for psychological warfare. So
it's working.
Yeah, it's working. And how is the whole country is involved. And let me just say this, which I only found out today. We talk about 6 degrees of separation. So Israel's a tiny country with 1 or 2 degrees of separation. So I just found out today that 2 of my wife's family are among the hostages.
I'm so sorry.
So,
Man.
So we would, we know that.
So the
from,
2 that were just released are his family.
What we found out about Hamas, that they were told to kill the difficult ones and to use the rest as human shields. So this is a very personal.
Wow.
It's a very personal thing. By the way, they're Americans. Natalie, I'm sorry to bring this on you, but I only just found out. Natalie and Judith Renan, they're from Evanston, Illinois. They're Americans. They were visiting their grandmother for her 85th birthday. And they were last seen, their hands tied, being dragged away by the Hamas terrorists. So it's personal, it's real, and nobody is really confident that it's possible to get them back alive. Of course, everybody's hoping the United States said they're doing everything they can with intelligence resources, whatever other resources they can bring to bear. Israel says hostages are number one priority, but actually the bottom line probably is that they're the number two priority. Number one priority is to go into Gaza, as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, to kill the Hamas leadership and to destroy Hamas. But the hostages are in the way. So, this is a really rather unheard of situation.
Then, Ambassador, when Hamas says things like, oh, we're treating these hostages like our guests, and Martin tells us the message is, we kill the ones who are difficult. Those are two very, very different messages. How are these families getting this information? Where are they learning it from if these people are being held captive?
First of all, Peter, I'm so sorry. Not Peter, Martin, I'm so sorry for your family's loss. That's terrible. It's terrible news. I'm involved in visiting families. I visit families every day of the hostages, and this is what I know. Of the 203 hostages that Israel knows about, this is because there's some type of evidence pictures were taken of them. The assumption here is that the number is actually larger. It could be significantly larger. Not all the hostages are in the hands of Hamas. Some of them are in the hands of the Palestine Islamic Jihad. Some of them are in the hands of families. When the terrorists broke through our defenses in the south, hundreds, maybe thousands of Gazans followed through with them. They were civilians, but they took part in the massacres, and they also captured Israelis. And then they will turn around and sell these hostages to Hamas or to the Palestine Islamic Jihad. So the only way we know about them is because that someone took a picture of them at some point. In one rare case, I went to visit Karen Shem the other day. Her daughter Mia was captured. Of all the 203 hostages, the next day Hamas published a video of her daughter Mia, who suffers from a number of ailments, serious ailments. She had been shot in the arm, and she claimed that she was being treated well. The video was old, unfortunately. It wasn't from the same day. But my assumption was that this video was published because Mia is a dual Israeli-French national. And it was some type of gesture, some type of message to the French. Beyond that, we don't know anything. The parents don't know anything. I visited a family, Eshel family. Their daughter, Roni, has actually not been found at all. They know nothing about her whereabouts. She has not been identified among the dead. Well over as many as 200 dead have not been identified yet because they were so severely mutilated and burnt by Hamas. The situation is unbearable. It's unbearable, I think, as Martin has shown. These poor families, it is excruciating.
Wow. That
over
is
2 weeks now.
Hideous.
And no one's even talking about these hostages.
And yet, I mean, even in light of all of the atrocities that are being committed against human beings, there are still idiots supporting Hamas. We'll get into some of them in just a few minutes, but it's incomprehensible to me.
Sure is.
How you support the Palestinians. I don't understand it. It's inhuman. It's inhuman to me.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of families, busting through with the
They just
Hamas.
poured through,
And then they took their own captives, too.
Yeah. Now, for American citizens, I am in full support of Navy SEALs and Delta Force going in there after them. And I understand that that Navy SEAL Team 6 is standing by somewhere in the region, ready to do that if they're directed so.
Yeah, I think over the weekend, Anthony Blinken said that he knows of 10 Americans that are still hostages.
Still being held?
Yeah, but he has no information on them. So here we are.
Pretty bad. I mean, I don't know that we have that great of intelligence in the region. Mossad does, or at least they were thought to have.
I was going to say.
But what happened here, I don't know. I don't know how this got by them.
That's still bugging me because Egypt says
I don't understand.
They warned Israel 3 days before.
Right.
Okay.
I saw that report
you got
too.
You got that, oh my gosh, we didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But yet we're able to turn around and give you the radio traffic between two Hamas guys with that missile that landed near that hospital.
Right.
Little conflicting messages there.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, now the really dark clip that you alluded to there, that one you'll definitely not want your kids around unless you want them to know the horrors of what is happening over there.
We'll give you a minute to remove them from the room or turn this down or whatever for a second. But first, let me tell you, if you're looking for wholesome, convenient meals for this jam-packed fall season, get Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, and get eating well. Get that off your to-do list in just 2 minutes. Get 50% off Factor with the code PAT50 at factormeals.com/PAT50. Factormeals.com/PAT50.
That gray is unleashed.
This is that disturbing information from first responders. But just to show you what's going on and how incomprehensible it is that people are supporting the other side of this equation.
Right.
We're going to play this video. Again, you probably don't want your kids hearing this, but here's the description of first responders.
We went in. The first house we saw was a couple, father and mother, sitting there on the knees on the floor. They were on the knees. Now they were head down, hands tied to the back. On the other side of the dining room was a 7-year-old boy and a girl, I would say about 6 years old, sitting just against the parents, hands tied to the back, same position. The bodies were tortured. While now, start to use your imagination. Who was tortured before? Who saw if this was on purpose? If this was the children looking at the parents being tortured? The parents seen, and when I say tortured, I will say missing body pieces.
Oh, gosh.
An eye, just taken out an eye, one eye, fingers being, and all this happened, and by the end, they all had a bullet, and still not finished. In the middle, there's a table. Those tables were sitting and eating the Saturday meal that was prepared for this family. They just took it and they ate this meal while torturing these children.
That's who you're supporting.
Yep.
That's who you're supporting.
Now, of course, the line that you're hearing from people that are saying, look, the babies, they weren't beheaded. No.
Oh, it's okay that they were murdered.
Yeah.
If they weren't beheaded?
Right. Now, the babies don't have heads attached anymore, but they weren't beheaded. That's the case that they're making in support of the other side here. I don't know how you can even
if they weren't beheaded.
Right. It's just...
They were killed.
I don't understand a world where you're
I don't either.
Considering defending anything over there.
It's unreal. It's unreal. It's despicable. Got a collection of... These are just some of the women who have been kidnapped by Hamas and remain hostages or are still missing after 16 days. That's just a few. A lot of these women probably came from that festival, I suspect.
Right,
yeah. That they raided and killed 260 people at this festival. You know, we think about Las Vegas where, was it 57 people that lost their lives, which was horrific. And we were all stunned and shocked and disgusted by that as a nation and mourned that. 260 people at this festival. Wow. Plus a bunch of hostages, too.
Right.
And probably a lot of these women from that.
Right. And going back to the description from those first responders, I thought this tweet was very succinct and got right to the point there from Ariel Davidson, who said, "They cut the fingers off Jewish children and removed their eyeballs. Please lecture me about proportionality."
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's perfect.
I don't want to hear it. Really don't want to hear it.
Yep. And by the way...
And we're hearing it from our own president, by the way. The proportionality BS.
Do we have the... yeah, and he's sending... $100 billion? Is that what was? How much money is he?
$105 billion.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
What's the Babylon Bee headline? Do we have that? You got to put that up there if we have that. I don't know. Well, anyway, he said the Babylon Bee headline was 4D chess from Joe Biden. $100 billion for no hostages. I mean, that's well done.
That is good.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, $105 billion. Well, about $60 billion of that though goes to Ukraine, of course.
Silly me.
Don't forget that.
What am I thinking
$60 billion
about?
to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel, and then was it $9 billion? I've got the numbers here somewhere.
It was 10 because we joked about
10 billion?
10%.
Okay, yeah,
10% for the big guy.
$10 billion for the Palestinians.
Yeah,
you know that would go directly to Hamas. What is the matter with you? Are you that naive? Are you that stupid that you think, well, if they do the wrong thing with it, of course they're going to do the wrong thing with it, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it once they have that money.
Yeah, right. As Liberty,
you're just rearming Hamas.
Pathead Liberty J. Man. Biden is so dumb he will fund both sides of a war with our tax dollars.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you guys talked about, the plastic pipes. We send, hey, you want clean water? We'll send you some pipes. And then, of course, they make explosives with those. I was watching a thing over the weekend where, we send humanitarian aid like dummies, like the dumbasses that we are. We send them concrete that they say, we're going to build houses for those. And they, you know what they build with those? They build extra additions to their homes, the Hamas leadership I'm talking about. They build tunnels that they can get under Israel so they can unsuspectingly bomb, and raid the countryside and literally rape and pillage. That's what they're using, the humanitarian aid, the concrete that we're sending them.
Yeah, it's not like we're guessing that the money is going to go to Hamas. We've done it before. We've done it in the past, and it winds up with Hamas doing the things that Keith just outlined. And that's only some of the things that they're doing with it. They're not doing any good with it. They're not taking care of their people. Look at the shape the people are in Gaza. And then tell me that any money is getting to the people of Gaza.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not. They have the worst leadership, which, by the way, they voted for.
76 seats in parliament, Hamas related, or connected to Hamas. I read that.
It's incredible.
I got to find that fact again. That was stunning.
It's incredible. Again, there's 2.4 million people in Gaza. 2.4 million in that tiny little strip of land. And these people voted for Hamas to lead the way. It's not like it's a surprise to them that Hamas is their leadership. They voted for them. They could have voted for somebody else. They didn't.
Yeah, this article was quite a while back, but at one time, Hamas won 76 of 132 parliament seats.
Jeez.
Okay, but they're not the people.
But they don't represent Hamas.
Right, come on.
Well, except they do.
Totally different.
Very literally, they do.
That rocket that everybody was so quick to say, Israel bombed a hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it was Hamas that bombed a parking lot near a hospital, but thanks for playing.
And then inflated the numbers.
And of course, the people that were so quick to jump down, and I mean people on the right as well. Twitter is a hellscape now.
Yeah,
you thought it was bad before.
It's a stinking cesspool.
In the last 2 weeks, it has gone into hyperdrive. But I saw this thing where 1 out of every 4 missiles that Hamas launches lands in Gaza.
Yes. I mean, it's not like they don't have American missiles. You know, they don't have.
Give it time.
I know.
Just waiting for that Afghanistan shipment to arrive that we left behind.
These are not the smartest weapons on the planet. And so, some of them go awry. Like 1/4 of them go awry. And that's a lot when you're firing 5,000 rockets in one day. You know, that means hundreds are landing on their own territory, on their own people. It's insanity, this whole thing. And yet there was a professor last week, an associate professor with the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, that called Israelis pigs, savages, very, very bad people, and irredeemable excrement. That's what he said about the Israelis, and then ended the post, may they all rot in hell.
All right.
Now, the next day, he, of course, apologized. Yesterday, I wrote some things on my Instagram story that I unequivocally reject and do not stand behind. What? Then why did you write it?
What a weird...
Why did you post it? I am deeply sorry for writing what I wrote and for hurting many people with my words. And I am especially sorry to Israeli people that I broadly placed at fault for the war. You did not and do not deserve that. And I was wrong to post what I posted. I know that my words perpetuated harmful stereotypes. Is that bizarre?
It's very bizarre.
After such a radical post, and then, he probably got some mean, strongly worded, mean posts back to him. And that, I don't know, that throws people into a tizzy.
Wouldn't it be nice if the left would talk about anti-Semitism 1/10 as often as they talk about racism?
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
Sure,
wouldn't it be nice?
This world we live in right now is so incomprehensible.
It really is.
And
it stuns me every day.
Now we got we got China showing up there in the Mediterranean, sending 6 ships. Is that right?
I wouldn't worry about that.
So, I mean, this is fine. This thing will be calmed down by the end of the week.
Because we've got 2 carrier strike groups in the region, and now China are good, close, personal friends.
That's right.
Who loan us all kinds of money and make all our products. They have sent 6 military ships to the Middle East due to the escalating conflict between Palestine and Israel. Okay. Well, that's not going to escalate anything. The publication who noted this also notes the existing tension in the region boils against the backdrop of concerns that the Israeli crisis could escalate into total war.
Now, where are they getting that?
I don't know.
Where are they getting
That's
that?
just crazy talk.
Don't
right
take
there.
leaps like that.
World War III is a move. I read 6 moves away. I don't know why 6. I didn't actually read the article because I mean, it's less than 6 to me. I mean, somebody could mistake a missile coming at them or above them for a missile that was not fired at them. There could be some misunderstanding in the Mediterranean, in the Persian Gulf. Who knows what's going to happen? But any number of catastrophic events could take place here to cause World War III at this point. We're just teetering on the brink of disaster. Somebody's got to pull back on the tension.
No, we are the USS Maine away from getting into World War III.
Yeah.
Or the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah. Right.
Or something like that.
Right. Or something like that. All right. Much more where this came from coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Some comments about speaker and share. Holy smokes, 1776 tweets. Something tells me we'll end up with the candidate who has the lowest Freedom Works score. It was a good run, America.
Yeah, and if it's 1% more conservative than McCarthy, then the swamp will say, well, look, we gave you someone more conservative. What's your problem?
Yeah. What do you people want? Some radical extremist? Yes.
Yes. That's where we're at.
Yes, that's where we are. Rowdy introvert. How can the Republicans pass up on Byron Donalds? Well, because he has a 100% Liberty score. Lone Wolf 2965. If you don't support Donaldson for speaker, you probably have Klan robes in your closet. Thank you. Yes.
Somebody had to say it.
Yep. Jimmy Dimples. Didn't Cher say she was going to leave the USA the last time Trump won? Seems like she did, yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time, babe. End rescue repayment. I hope everyone is now painfully aware of how the Holocaust happened the first time around.
Amen.
That's for sure. Rain Wilder 7. My cousin's Navy ship just dropped off SEAL Team 2 and the 26th Military Expeditionary Unit last week. They're ready.
Okay, I feel like we shouldn't know this.
As
citizens.
That's probably a good point.
But along those lines, there's a Twitter account that, I guess follows, movements of our military. Anyway, and it just said, rumors are that the crew on board the USS Gerald Ford in the Eastern Mediterranean have been served steak and lobster. This was the other night. For dinner, which is usually reserved for either holidays, which today isn't, or news, which is expected to lower the crew's morale. Something like being involved in military action like this. And so we'll see.
I'd say there's a good shot that troops are going in.
We don't want this.
Rock and roll G-Mom. I firmly believe these these pro-Palestine protesters, sympathizers, are BLM protesters. They're being paid to do this.
Yeah, this does feel like BLM.
It does.
Well said.
But in American city after American city, missing persons posters have been ripped down, like this scene in California.
Get this. I don't understand. I mean,
why would you do this?
This is happening all over the place.
That's just
college
crazy.
Campuses with professors, students doing this, just young people. Like, what does it hurt to have a missing persons poster?
Bizarre.
Of someone taken by Hamas, unless you're just, I guess you're a terrorist, honestly, at this point. And this guy is so fun because he goes, oh, wait, I've got my handy dandy mask that I keep on at all times. I'll just use it to hide my face.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that you had it at the ready at this point says plenty. But there you go. I just...
There you go.
I cannot understand. It's dumbfounding.
Meanwhile, an American mother and her daughter were released by Hamas over the weekend. Judith and Natalie Renan were visiting their 85-year-old grandmother for her birthday.
These are the relatives of the MSNBC guy who, at the time of that clip, they didn't have them free.
Oh, okay.
This is who he was specifically referring to in that clip we played earlier.
Wow.
Yeah, they're from
Chicago.
So
that's before the kidnapping. Here's an image of them being led to safety by Israeli soldiers.
What did they go through?
Wow. You don't even want to think about it.
Did you see that Sean King or something? He said something like he helped or like he knows the family personally and he helped this happen.
This family?
Yeah. And they're like, we have no idea who Sean King is. The hell are you talking?
That guy is just a professional liar. He lies about everything, including his race. Dude, we know you're a white guy. Calm down, okay?
Look, it happens. It happened to us.
Yeah.
We were born white too, Sean.
It does happen.
You learn to live with it.
It's really unfortunate, but it does happen. Quite a bit, in fact. Happens to most people. And in all kinds of cities, campus after campus, even in our own Capitol building, we saw last week pro-Palestinian demonstrations continuing.
Yeah.
Here's what the halls of Harvard looked like last week.
Oh, good.
It should be fun. That's great.
Stop.
What is the chant there?
We suck in every way imaginable.
Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Yeah. Okay.
And we suck in every way imaginable. You can hear that too, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what? If Gaza hadn't attacked Israel, they'd have no problem living.
Right.
They'd have no problem. They'd be fine today. All of them. Their buildings would be intact. Their people would be alive.
Yeah, I mean, do these people who are protesting on behalf of that part of the world, you understand that the stuff that you cherish, like gay rights and trans activism, you understand that's not allowed there, right? And that it's a death sentence, effectively. You do understand. No, you don't understand.
Yeah, isn't that something? Man. They share nothing in common with these people.
You know where Arabs are actually treated well? Israel. They have... Arabs have assumed high roles in the government there.
They give them jobs, too.
20% of the population of Israel is Arab. They're not. It's not like Israel is just shuffling them out like the rest of the actual Islamic world, who, of course, as Pat has discussed many, many times, about the history of Israel and Palestine and how they rejected what the UN set up for them, and how... the Muslim countries, right before they attacked, set me straight on this if I got this wrong. Right before they attacked, they told the Palestinians, "Hey, it's cool. You can leave, but what's going to happen is we're going to take over Israel, and then you're going to take that land as your own."
Right.
And so, of course, when they failed miserably at attacking Israel
multiple times,
the Palestinians are like, "Hey, so
can we come live with you guys?" Nope. Nope. No, there's no welcome mat out for you people.
Did I send?
No.
Oh, okay. Full screen 12, Stephen. Look at this map of the Middle East, and you tell me the Palestinians don't have the green there are Muslim lands that could invite the Palestinians to live in. But no, we got to be in that little red spot right there.
Right.
Get out of my face. Screw you.
Yeah, look, if you can even find the red spot.
I know.
That's where they are.
And don't forget, Israel's letting you live in these places if you would just stop trying to kill them.
But it's occupied territory. It's occupied by the country who owns it? That's like saying the United States occupies the United States.
Well, some would make that argument.
Yeah, they would. Yes, they would. And these are the only two countries that have that problem. We're the only ones. The U.S. and Israel. Nobody else has any problem. I mean, even Great Britain, that everybody knows has imperialism in their history, and they occupied lands all over the world. They don't even have to deal with this. It's insanity.
I just don't understand this support. And so many people are saying, look, just because they're supporting the Palestinians doesn't mean they're supporting Hamas. Well, maybe don't hang out with those people then.
Right.
And Carol Roth was pointing out on Twitter, and I have not seen this myself, but she tweeted out something like, you can make little fun little emojis, doing different crazy things. And I guess there's a paraglider emoji. And so a lot of people are now adding that to their names on social media.
In support
of the attack
Hamas
on October 7th, where they paraglided into Israel.
And murdered 260 people at a music festival. That was in part supporting Palestinians.
That isn't said enough. I know.
It was a pro-Palestinian festival attended by many, many Jews who were supporting that cause. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
You can't.
It's incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weekend, Ron DeSantis discussed demonstrations like this one at Harvard.
And I think what this terrorist attack in Israel has shown us is we're vulnerable from all the people that have come illegally because they have come from Iran, too. It's not just Mexico, Central America, Russia, China, Middle East, all that stuff. But I think what we also saw, when the blood wasn't even dry on the Israelis who had been massacred, you had people in America going out protesting in favor of Hamas.
Yes.
And that's like very chilling.
Yes,
Some of these people are not U.S. citizens. They're student visas. So as president, if you're on a student visa and you're a foreigner and you're out there celebrating terrorism, I'm canceling your visa and I'm sending you home.
Nice. Thank you. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Can he do that? Is that
yeah,
something?
you can do that. You bet you can. Yeah, they're here at our pleasure. We don't have to have them here. We don't have to allow them here. And if they're doing things like that are seedy and despicable, sorry, you wore out your welcome. Go home. It's not like we're putting him in prison. We're just sending him home. Mm-hmm. Get on a plane and get your ass out.
I mean, it is fascinating in a very bad way to see how these students are acting and these professors. There's been one professor who's been out there shouting common sense, and he did this big rant. He's a Columbia professor. I think we have just an excerpt of his long rant that he shared in the public square.
This is fascinating because, hang on one second. It's a professor who is supporting Israel? I mean, that has to be noted because
Columbia.
it's the only one I know of. It's the only one I've seen or heard of.
A Columbia guy, yeah.
Here he is.
Last week, we had thousands of students chanting pro-terror songs that are sung right now in Iraq, in Libya, in Yemen, in Afghanistan. We're singing this not in Gaza, not in Afghanistan, here in New York City. And this is the school that you want to send your children to. They were celebrating the rape of teenage girls in a music festival in the name of resistance. They were celebrating this. And the president of the university is allowing these pro-terror student organizations to march on our campuses. They brought a building here of the Center for Jewish Life had to go on lockdown. Not in Gaza, not in Tel Aviv, here in New York City.
Yeah, crazy. That leads us to Bill Maher, who had some advice for young people here in this country on his show last week.
I have one piece of advice for the youth of America. Don't go to college. And if you absolutely have to go, don't go to an elite college, because as recent events have shown, it just makes you stupid.
Yep.
There are few, if any, positives to come out of what happened in Israel, but one of them is opening America's eyes to how higher education has become indoctrination into a stew of bad ideas, among them the simplistic notion that the world is a binary place where everyone is either an oppressor or oppressed. In the case of Israel, oppressors being babies and bubbas. The same students who will tell you that words are violence and silence is violence were very supportive when Hamas terrorists went on a rape and murder rampage worthy of the Vikings. They knew where to point the fingers at the murdered, and then it was off to ethics class. Now, I recognize that a certain amount of foolishness is expected of college kids, but mixing Jägermeister and tomato juice isn't the same as siding with terrorists. 34 student groups at Harvard signed a letter that said the apartheid regime is the only one to blame, proving they don't know what constitutes apartheid. They don't know much of anything, actually. But it doesn't deter them from having an opinion. They've convinced themselves Israel is the most repressive regime in history because they have no knowledge of history, or even a desire to know it. And actual history doesn't come up in their intersectionality of politics and genderqueer identities class. Now, to be fair, at least 5 of the student groups have rescinded what they signed, saying they didn't read the letter closely. And And they promise not to make that mistake again after they graduate and start running the world. But I actually believe them that they didn't read the letter closely. I think they scanned it, said it was blaming Israel, and went back to surfing TikTok. Because college life today is a day spa combined with a North Korean re-education camp. It's a daycare center with a meal plan, except the toddlers can fire the adults. The fact that college presidents, who usually love to speak out about anything, couldn't find their voice to condemn the worst attacks in the Holocaust says a lot about who really controls colleges.
Wow. I mean, that's Bill Maher. Bill Maher, one of the most liberal people in all of media. For years, for decades, he has been spewing BS that makes no sense. But lately, it just shows how radical the left is because they've gone too far for even Bill Maher. And one thing he does know is that these jihadists are evil. He gets that. He understands that. It seems to me that he even spoke out when... Do you remember when it was when Rosie O'Donnell said Christian militants are just as dangerous as Islamic jihadists? He took issue with that even. And so good for him for understanding that there's a limit to the things you can support, even on the left, at least for him. For a lot of these people, there is no limit. All right, let me tell you about real estate agents I trust, because selling your home is stressful and difficult, especially in a market like this where we've got the interest rates going up and all kinds of uncertainty right now. You need a realtor who can help you through this process. So if you're selling your home or buying and selling because you're relocating, then make sure you first go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. This is a free service that we provide to you. Glenn's team, this is Glenn's company, and his team fully vets all of these realtors across the country, and they find only the best in your market. So you know you're going to be dealing with somebody who's got a really great track record, who understands what it takes to get the most out of your home or the most home for your money. They get it. And they're fans of the show, so you're going to have things in common. Hopefully they won't be spouting pro-Hamas nonsense to you. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com. All right. Much more coming up. The other thing about the Palestinian protests is that it seems to come with an awful lot of socialist tendencies. Doesn't it? I don't... Anti-capitalist, anti-American. We'll get into that a little bit, too. Coming up on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey, you know what? Got something kind of, really exciting for you. We've all seen how big tech censors people. They demonetize, they suspend accounts, they throttle content deemed misinformation by so-called fact checkers. The scale of the problem is far worse than you might think, even. It's a constant threat that we have to battle here at the Blaze every single day. Back in July, Glenn produced a special on the Great Reset and posted a clip from it to Facebook. The clip received a false fact check from Facebook. The fact check they linked had nothing to do with what Glenn was talking about in the video. That didn't matter to Facebook. They didn't care. Ever since that particular fact check, Glenn's Facebook page has been completely throttled. The reach of his videos has dropped by about 90%. Still hasn't recovered. After we reported on the Hunter Biden laptop story, NewsGuard labeled us a super spreader of misinformation over a story that turned out to be 100% true. That's how big tech and our ruling elites do it, though. They decide they want to suppress a story, and they'll use all sorts of tactics, and they leverage all the players in big tech to crush it because they're all like-minded. Well, Blaze Media is being demonetized over and over. We've been willing to take the financial hit, though, because the stories are things you need to hear about. So the problem is every time a story is demonetized or labeled as misinformation, it gets suppressed and never reaches you through search engines or your social media feeds. And we're sick of playing that game. So we have some big plans to fight back. We'll be sharing the details tomorrow on, something very, very exciting. I think you're going to love it. Also, we got some tweets here. Speaking of social media, amateur monger of hate, nothing like Jew hate to erase the threat of white supremacy. Well, and the good thing is the anti-Semitism and the white supremacy can coexist, and we can worry about both those things. Sloth and gluttony awareness tweets, we have to fund both sides of the war so we can have World War III. That's been the plan since this idiot took office. Well, before, really. The war machine is hungry.
That's right.
Trump didn't feed it.
Yeah, that's why they had to get him out of there. Yeah. And I mean, you got the ships going from China, right?
Yep.
Showing up.
Mm-hmm.
You've got American hostages still being held.
Yep.
And of course, that stupid idiot in the White House is taking naps on the beach in Delaware this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
yeah.
What? Did you see like 50 Cent, not 50 cents, but 50 Cent is even like sending messages to him on Instagram. It's like, yo, wake up, bro. Things are bad right now.
Yeah.
This is
November
2024 seems unreachable at this point.
Yeah, it kind of does. More BS. Tweets, wait a minute. I thought World War III was supposed to happen under the Trump presidency. Weird. How could this happen under the Great Uniter? Easy answer. He united all the other countries against us. That's pretty much what did happen, yeah. Tyler Morgan, we shouldn't know these units are there, yet the White House put pics on Instagram of Biden's Israel trip with Delta operators uncensored. Put their faces out there so Hamas knows who to look for. From the Pickled Squirrel, pretty sure them's the rules in other countries. You cannot engage in any type of political protest while on a student visa. Yeah, we can't go by those rules, though. We can't have our own rules like that because that's hateful for America. DMX, Donald Trump cannot agree with a single thing Ron DeSantis says, so how is he going to reply to the idea of canceling student visas of America hating foreigners? I'm not sure. To be decided.
To be decided.
And the anti-Semitic hate, of course, is everywhere. We were telling you about this before the break. Samantha Wall was the president of a synagogue in Detroit. She was just stabbed to death outside her home over the weekend. Really, really sad. Some pointed out that her murder happened in Michigan, which, of course, is represented by Rashida Tlaib.
Oh, so you mean the one who's been fanning the flames of hate?
That's the one.
I see. Now, officials are saying that this has... They don't think it's any connection to her religion. Keep in mind, she was the president of a synagogue.
Yeah. Oh, of course it's not connected.
Not at all.
Come
not
on.
During this time?
Yeah, crazy.
So
that's just crazy talk.
I mean, granted, it is Detroit, so...
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
It's almost certainly connected, would be my guess. Greta Thunberg posed with some friends on her Instagram page in support, of course, of Palestinians. That's great. Do we have the... Yeah, there it is. The Free Palestine. Climate Justice Now.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Climate Justice Now has the Palestinian flag and that little socialist fist?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Wow.
This Jew stands with Palestine. And then, of course, Greta's holding the Stand with Gaza
But wait, what's that
sign. And then behind her...
What is that?
Just to the right, as we're looking at it, her left... she took the post down because apparently this octopus was snuck into the picture by her friend as an anti-Semitic trope. I guess that, Yeah, there's the.
Wow.
That's supposed to represent what, the Jews
I
and their
wasn't aware of
tentacles
that
all over the world
until this, but okay.
I wasn't either, but there's so much anti-Semitism that I'm not even aware of that goes on every single day. Just really weird.
The octopus means that?
I guess so.
Because I have like a bunch of this little octopus in my house.
Oh, what does that say about you, sir?
Yeah, what does that say?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's going on there?
Interesting, isn't it?
Wow.
Might want to
awesome.
reassess.
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't it?
How many? Wait, hold on. How many octopi?
Dude, there's like a whole collection because what the whole thing about them little octopus is like they change emotions.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, but how many do you have and why?
Like 6. My son loves them.
Okay, well, if you got
emotions.
6, you need to go for the full 8, obviously. And by the way, Daniel's in my ear saying they're actually called octopodes. That's a new one for me.
Really? Mm-hmm. It's not octopi or
I thought it was
octopuses?
I thought it was that one too, but...
Huh.
In an
Apparently
octopode's
not.
garden. Let's see. No, it doesn't do it.
In the
sea.
Shade?
Shade
or sea? I don't know. Sea shade? I think it's in the shade of the sea is how that goes. If you're not familiar, Ringo Starr song, of course. He was responsible for virtually every bizarre, nonsensical Beatles song. That
Really?
Yellow Submarine, Octopus's Garden.
Hold on.
Okay, Yellow Submarine and Octopus's Garden.
That's
the
it?
End. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
I'm
not exactly
a list.
prolific.
I was going to say Rocky Raccoon was written by Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In Congress, we've been dealing with the unhinged rants, of course, of Rashida Tlaib in the Hamas caucus, but Senator John Fetterman,
This is stunning,
has been pretty vocal on Twitter in his support of Israel. Here's some of his recent tweets.
Who's running this account? It's not the ogre.
It's truly disturbing that members of Congress rushed to blame Israel for the hospital tragedy in Gaza. Who would take the word of a group that just massacred innocent Israeli civilians over our key ally? That's such a great...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's from John Fetterman?
Yeah, right? Again, who's running this account?
Yeah. Now is not the time to talk about ceasefire, he also wrote. Supposedly. He. You put that in quotation marks. He must support Israel in efforts to eliminate the Hamas terrorists who slaughtered innocent men, women, and children. Hamas does not want peace. They want to destroy Israel.
Thank you.
We can talk about a ceasefire after Hamas is neutralized. And then, this gem, I will always stand with Israel and look forward to supporting any military, intelligence, or humanitarian aid to get the job done.
Senator John
Fetterman. Hard to believe. But, let's give credit where credit is due, because that's great.
I don't know what's more stunning. The fact that he is such a staunch supporter of Israel, or the fact that all 3 of those tweets were completely coherent.
Yes, well, you got some time, and I'm sure some people helped him.
Wow, that's good stuff there.
Well, yeah, that was really good.
Shocking, really.
Who knew? Meanwhile, at these Palestinian protests, again, I can't help but take notice of this multiple times because it's worth noting that the support for Palestine also comes with a really high degree of anti-Americanism and socialist tendencies and hatred for capitalism. Activists equated the plight of Palestinians to those of indigenous peoples, of course, in this country. They called the Israeli settlements in the Gaza Strip an occupation steeped in racism. They blamed the capitalist Jews and white Europeans for the loss of their indigenous lands and called for a socialist revolution. Okay, they do not share our values. They just don't. All resistance to colonial occupation is justified, one speaker shouted at the event. All resistance to colonial occupation is justified. That's how they're justifying the slaughter of innocent men, women, and children, up to and including babies. Protesters chanted from Palestine to Mexico, border walls have to go. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They blamed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the children who were killed in Israeli strikes in response against Hamas and condemned Zionism, equating it with South African apartheid, fascism, and Nazism. How ironic. That is just despicable anti-Semitism. Absolutely despicable. But they don't care. They don't care. And, the amazing thing is that many of these people are actually elected officials, U.S. representatives. And yet, will they be voted out of office when that time comes around in November? No, would be my guess. No. We're still gonna have to put up with Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all of these buffoons and anti-Americans. They'll still be in office indefinitely. And we will still have the Hamas caucus well into the future. I don't know when people are going to wake up. What will it take for voters in these states and in their districts to wake up and vote these people out of office? Well, we'll see. Meantime, let me tell you about Eden Pure Thunderstorms. If you have odors in your home that you just can't get rid of, now you can. You can get rid of any nasty odor with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier. The Thunderstorm gets rid of strong odors from cooking, cigarette smoke, litter boxes, trash cans, even that mildewy smell from basements. No match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. It starts working in just seconds. So easy to install. You just pull up the plug-in, stick it in the wall, and turn it on to your desired level. And that's it. There's no filters to replace. There's no maintenance to do on it. And it just starts sending out the O3 molecules that destroy odors. And during this week, got a great deal for you on your own Thunderstorm. You can save $200 on a 3-pack. Get 3 Thunderstorms for whole home protection for under $200. Just go to EdenPureDeals.com, enter the discount code PAT. That's EDEN. EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAT. Plus, you'll get free shipping.
Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll be right back after this.
Halloween's a week from tomorrow. Already. Man. Couple of tweets to share. Don Walker tweets, we need to start using the term Judeophobia to describe people that hate Jews.
I like that. That's a good one.
David Cullip, I'm wondering when Chris is going to print out Palestinian flags for the whole station to hang up. Like you did for Ukraine, Chris. Notice you haven't done that, Mr. Anti-Semite. What the heck? Wait. No, that
one doesn't match.
Yeah, please don't print up Hamas flags.
No, don't do that. Everywhere, like such as tweets. Oh, the delicious irony that ham is in the name of that particular terrorist group. Can we start calling them Hamas? Maybe get a hashtag going.
I like it.
See, because they don't eat pork. Sons of Thunder 43. I miss the hey, hey, ho, ho chants. Yeah, I hope those are coming back. I really do. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Aid to Ukraine has to go.
To Palestinians.
Yes. To Hamas.
To Hamas.
Directly to Hamas. Let's just drop all pretext. We're giving $105 billion directly to Hamas. Okay? You don't like that? Tough. That might as well be where they are, this administration.
My word. Okay, so wait, how does this guy, Joe Biden, have a 40% approval rating last I checked?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
How is that even possible?
How's it possible?
Like, didn't Reagan, during the worst times of Iran-Contra, Reagan, 35%.
Ooh, was it that low?
Yes.
Wow.
How is Joe Biden higher than Reagan at his worst approval?
It's just crazy. That shows you how partisan things are. Because there is a certain segment of the population that don't care what he does because he's a Democrat, and they're going to support him no matter what. And they're showing us that right now. I wonder if they love the fact that $61.4 billion, another $61.4 billion he wants to send to Ukraine. Another 14. It doesn't matter really even who you support in this conflict because both sides are getting the money. $14.3 billion for Israel. There's going to be a number of people who hate that. $10.6 billion of that military aid. $13.6 billion for border protection. How about that? You mean we're going to spend a little bit of money on ourselves and our own protection? Huh. That's just crazy talk.
It's shameful that I can't just be a standalone.
I know.
Take care of America, and then we'll talk about foreign aid.
I know. That's as it should be, but it's not going to be. Indo-Pacific security, he talked about that when he was with his friend who was from Baltimore, just like he is. Mm-hmm. Or at least he told us that on that particular occasion. That'll total around $7.4 billion. Wow. And another $9 billion earmarked for humanitarian aid in Ukraine, Israel, and Gaza. Mm-hmm. So great. Jeez. So it's not going to stop. If you were holding your breath waiting, you can stop that now because otherwise you're going to pass out very soon. You need to take a breath. All right. And also, just a little reminder on the Speaker of the House situation. Again, we talked about this at the beginning of the show, but it looks like Jim Jordan's run is over, mm-hmm. and he couldn't get across the finish line. So there's 9 other participants in the battle for Speaker. Some of them you probably never heard of. Jack Berman, Tom Emmer, Kevin Hearn, Mike Johnson, Dan Muser, Gary Palmer, Austin Scott, and Pete Sessions. The only one worth mentioning in the whole group, Byron Donalds.
Better be one vote. Better be Byron Donalds. We better move on.
Otherwise, you're a stinking racist.
Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I don't
There's
know.
no other reason not to vote for Byron Donalds.
The Republican Party has shown so vividly in the last week how worthless they are.
Yeah. I mean, we say it all the time, but they prove it all the time. So it's just really frustrating. Meanwhile, I've got some really sad news for you.
Oh,
really
it's been a heavy show. Why
it
are
has.
you doing this again now?
It has. Well, it's unavoidable. People who got their hopes up and their dreams and all their aspirations, they thought they were going to be realized with Perry Johnson. No. Perry Johnson has suspended his presidential bid after failing to make the latest debates.
Oh, there wasn't enough Perry Mentum?
No, apparently not.
Oh, there he is. Good look.
There he is. Sad. We barely got to know you, Perry. Now you're gone already. He said, with no opportunity to share my vision on the debate stage, I've decided at this time suspending my campaign is the right thing to do.
Oh.
Wow. Disappointing ones of people all across this great nation of ours.
Ones of people.
Ones of people. The Michigan businessman and quality control industry expert failed to qualify for the first 2 debates. Criticized, of course, the RNC because of it, because they had the nerve to put polling and donor thresholds. He said, I must admit, the corruption among leaders at the RNC during this process was appalling.
Yeah.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The people should decide the next president of the United States, not the head of the RNC and her cronies. Meanwhile, the next...
That is the longest note
I know.
ever.
That's
ever.
That's
like
in
the history of music.
That was intense, by the way.
I think we were all just waiting. Okay,
yeah.
How long does it go?
It got so long, it was just too awkward. I had to start talking. The next Republican debate, by the way, November 8th.
Okay.
And it's on NBC. Oh, that should be.
Oh, that'll be fair.
It was bad enough on Fox. Can you imagine how bad it's going to be on NBC? And speaking of the big race, RFK Jr. has come out in favor of reparations.
That's what it sounds like.
Yay!
Bro.
Yay! After tricking a whole bunch of conservatives into believing he might be a good alternative.
Yeah, now he's running on an idea to the left of Joe Biden.
Keith, you care to comment?
What do you mean, do I care to comment? What does that mean?
On conservatives that were tricked by RFK Jr.
Tricked?
Yeah.
I've been listening to him because the only candidate... Well, not the only candidate. No, I'd say him and DeSantis are the only candidates that are really taking the forced vaccines and forced lockdown seriously. I can't even get that kind of response from Donald Trump.
No.
So, on some issues, he's absolutely been dead on.
Mm-hmm.
Tricked. Just listening. I've got options. You know what, though? My plan to vote for him in the Democrat primary in March on Super Tuesday is now out the window since he's running as an independent.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't
So he's
that doesn't
lost
help
my
at
vote
all.
by jumping
That's
ship
too bad.
there.
Too bad. Now, polls have shown he would hurt Trump more than Biden.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, that was my plan. In memory of Rush Limbaugh's Operation Chaos. You go and you try to mess up the Hillary versus Obama primary season. That was my plan with RFK, because as soon as I can take the opportunity to get Joe Biden out of the race, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
But now he's independent. And what is he saying? He wants to put money into black...
rebuild black infrastructure, like banks and businesses, and direct redress payments or tax credits rather than no-strings cash giveaways. Communities that were specifically targeted for destruction need to be specifically targeted for repair,
Yeah,
he
he's
said.
talking about Jim Crow era reparations type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well...
Yeah. He says during Jim Crow, black banks, businesses, hospitals, schools, and farms were targeted for destruction. Racists knew that without these, the black community had no chance of building wealth. Okay. We must set federal dollars aside to rebuild black infrastructure.
I would like reparations for being white and not benefiting from affirmative action.
Thank you.
And race-based college preference.
Here. Exactly.
My government hates me.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
We have made the small things the existential things at the expense of the existential things. The existential things go by the wayside. And so now, I know more about my favorite team than I do my school board. Now I know more about my favorite team than I know about my governor or state legislature.
The Steve Day Show.
Weekdays on the Blaze Radio Network.
Let me just note for a moment, today is the final day at Keksi.com, Keksi.com, for the Halloween slasher sale. The last day, you can get free UPS ground shipping on all boxes. And there's still time to get your box by Halloween if you order today. Okay? Last day. Also, next Wednesday... You won't be able to get the chocolate birthday cake or the worms and grubs cookies still. So if you love those,
I do.
Order it today. They're delicious. And that sugar lemon cookie, oh my gosh,
my wife loves it. I took her.
Oh,
she wants more lemon, but she's
even
loving,
more.
She's loving the lemon flavor, but she wants more lemon.
Wow. Tell her there are lemons. You can just eat a lemon if you want.
No, but they're not shaped like a cookie, though.
All right. So, Keksi.com and get yours today. Okay. Last day of the Halloween slasher sale. So, hurry. Also, like to point out that this month, in fact, Friday is our conspiracy show. What do we call it? The Free Think Friday?
Free Thinking
Friday. We're talking about the Titanic, which I didn't know was a thing until recently. Did the Titanic really sink? And if so, why and how? Weird.
Yeah, so...
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I've got a thing for all things Calvin Coolidge. My friend Zainab Yenisei She's written for multiple publications, and her thing is the Titanic conspiracies. A lot of stuff around it. And so she was telling me that she's got a PowerPoint presentation that she's created specific. She's never had the opportunity to talk about it publicly. So, like, this is groundbreaking.
Nice.
This is going to be
an exclusive.
An exclusive for us.
Wow.
All things Titanic.
Never before seen and heard. Should be interesting. Fascinating. Yeah. And if there's something you'd like us to take a shot at, let us know at conspiracies@theblaze.com. Just email us. conspiracies@theblaze.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a podcast review on iTunes. 5 stars, definitely appropriate. Pat Gray Unleashed on Spotify, iTunes, blazetv.com/Pat. Use the promo code PAT, and you'll get 10% off. Here's some more good news. We shared the fact that I forget what the good news was. It was just a few minutes ago, and it's already out of my head.
Good news is that
what was the good news?
On the Republican side, we don't have to worry about the top polling candidates to have to fend off Perry Johnson anymore.
No, that's right.
Because that was going to get
That's
ugly.
good news for them.
It's going to get nasty.
It was bad news for the rest of us who put all our hopes and dreams into the Perry Johnson campaign.
Long way to the well.
Yeah. But there is some really good news that, the guy from Young Turks.
Oh, yeah.
Cenk or whatever his name is.
How do you pronounce his name?
Cenk. Is it Cenk? Cenk?
I don't know his last name.
You're looking at the Puerto Rican guy that can barely speak?
Yeah.
Cenk Uygur.
Cenk, yeah.
Uygur. Bob Euchre. Anyway.
The second part I won't do because
he's running for president.
Oh, yes!
Right? Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, that guy. That guy hates life. That guy literally hates life.
Can you imagine? Cenk Uygur, whatever it is, as president of the United States? That would be the final nail in our coffin. That's for sure. Man.
Yeah, I don't even think he's eligible. I don't understand what he's trying to do here.
Was he not born here?
No, he's born.
Oh, he was born in Istanbul.
So it's like, bro,
it says right there
you know how that works, right?
Yeah, you can't be president. What the heck? He wasn't even born here. What are you doing?
Maybe hold your announcement until you make sure that you're constitutionally qualified.
Wow.
So weird. Okay.
That's great. He said, here's a quote from Cenk.
Oh, yeah.
Cenk.
President in waiting.
It should not have been me. It should have been somebody else. But unfortunately, it was not anyone else. There's only 4 months left till the primaries begin. We must change course. He has at best, I think he's talking about Biden here. He has at best a 10% chance of winning. I'm running as a proxy. I'm running to win. But I'm also running as a proxy for any other candidate. Okay. Make up your mind. Which is it? And by the way, you were born in Istanbul. You can't be president. Okay? Is that weird? He didn't even mention that. By the way, I'm going to need a constitutional change in order to become president, so...
You've got 4 months. Go. I got news for you. We don't even have a Speaker of the House, bro. We certainly ain't getting around to fixing the Constitution.
Nope. Meanwhile, in Joe Biden's America, there were 269,735 migrant encounters in September, of which 218,763 were encountered entering illegally by Border Patrol agents. That brings the yearly total at the southern border for fiscal year 23 to 2.48 million. 2,480,000, higher than the 2,380,000 in fiscal year 22. It was 1.73 in 21.
There they are, all lined up. While you've been getting the latest updates on the Israel-Hamas conflict, they've been literally lining up.
Wow!
At our border. And look at all those women.
Oh, that's astounding.
Look at all those chicks.
Look at all the babies and the children that are all coming here for a better life.
Toddlers and whatnot, just scattered about there.
All the baby carriages being pushed.
Look at that, huh?
Look at this. Is there a single woman in that group?
Honestly, I think there's one. There she is, right there in the striped shirt.
Okay, there's one. There's one.
We got one woman.
It's about a 1,000 to 1%.
Two. Two. What the hell? Lightning strikes.
Oh, and there is a child.
And a child.
Okay.
Honestly, we've seen
man
about 30
after man
people.
after man
and
after
27 of them were like 20-something-year-old dudes.
It's only about a 20-to-1 ratio, though. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there were 18 encounters of people on the terror watch list between ports of entry at the southern border, taking the total for fiscal year 23 to 169. That's a new record and more than the last 6 fiscal years combined. Now, they keep trying to blame this on Trump. We inherited a really bad situation. We've got to begin them. Donald Trump, the previous administration, really? You know how many encounters? Okay, keep in mind, this year is 2,480,000. In the last year of Trump's presidency, there were 458,088. You might notice one of those numbers is bigger than the other by a lot. 5, 6 times almost. Mm-hmm. My gosh.
We're not a country anymore. Everybody realizes that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Of those who entered, 43,000 individuals were processed through the ports of entry via the controversial CBP One app, which allows migrants to schedule an appointment to be paroled into the U.S. I'm scheduling an appointment to break U.S. law right now. Is that okay? Okay, good. Thank you.
So I got a question. I'm a citizen. Like, I was born in this country, and I went on my little jaunt up to western Nebraska and western South Dakota last week, and barely got out of town, got into Wichita Falls, and got pulled over for going a wee bit too fast. I've got till November 1st to get things right with the city
of what
Wichita
year?
Falls.
Like 2032, something like that? No?
You know what? I should check.
Yeah, check and make sure
I don't have it with me today.
What year?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, all right. Fair point. Fair point. The ticket just says
November 1st.
Settle this with the court in Wichita Falls by November 1st. So you might be right. It actually didn't say a day because I just remember seeing NOV1, and I'm like, wow, thanks for the time to get on this.
Yeah, jeez.
But yet I could just cross in illegally.
Yeah.
And I've got a decade before I have to respond to a court. Yeah. We are not a serious country, man.
Well, being a non-citizen comes with some privileges. There's no doubt about that. We can't separate illegal alien families, even if they've committed felonies. You can't separate a family. Right. You can certainly separate an American family if somebody broke the law. We're going to separate that family. So there's that privilege. You're also going to be able to stay for free in 5-star hotels that the nation has purchased for you on your behalf, so that you have a place to live and eat for free. We'll find you a job. I don't know.
If I got an immigration lawyer to defend me in the Wichita Falls traffic court, you think I could get out of it?
I'm sorry, what's your skin color again? Because
I don't know. Let me ask RFK Jr.
Jeez.
Okay.
All right. Last month, the G20 announced a plan to impose digital currencies and digital IDs on their respective populations. Central bank digital currencies basically allow the government to track your every purchase. It's not good. They could even allow officials to prohibit you from buying certain products, or they could easily freeze or just seize part or all of your money. So essentially, these digital currencies enable the government to control more of your finances. Concerned Americans are diversifying right now into physical gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. If you want a physical asset held in a tax-sheltered retirement account, you gotta call Birch Gold today. But learn for yourself. Check it out. See if it's right for you. Just text PAT to 989898. There's no obligation. They'll just send you a free kit on gold. And it'll give you all the information you need to make a really informed decision. But the easiest way to become a Birch Gold customer, if you have an IRA or a 401k from a previous employer just gathering dust, Birch Gold can help you convert it into an IRA in gold, and you don't have to pay a penny out of your pocket. So text PAT to 989898 and claim your free info kit on gold. Then call them, because if digital currency becomes a reality, it's going to be nice to have some gold to fall back on. Birch Gold Group. Text PAT to 989898.
That gray is unleashed.
Okay. So you have an update on Cenk Uygur's candidacy?
I do. Wait, which Mike has just tweeted an important update to me. So he went to apparently the Wikipedia page for Cenk, where it says he was born on March 21st, 1970 in Istanbul. If you'll take a close look there, he has taken away Turkey, marked through it, and just wrote Hawaii. So Istanbul, Hawaii is now the birthplace. Okay. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Istanbul, Hawaii. Yeah. That place is beautiful
That's
this
a
time of
thinking
year.
man's tweet.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That.
I like that a lot.
This audience gets it.
Yeah, they do. By the way, did you see the Lincoln Project? These are Republicans.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that they're reasonable Republicans. So much so that they just produced an ad for Joe Biden for 2024.
Oh, no.
And
For 4
here it
long
is.
years, Donald Trump disgraced America, laughing with mass-murdering dictators, Vladimir Putin's puppet.
You know, the people of Crimea, from what I've heard, would rather be with Russia than where they were.
The world laughed at us.
You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart.
No more.
The people of this nation have spoken. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Today, America once again leads the free world. A respected leader, steady, determined, who knows America is great because America is good.
We stand with Israel today, tomorrow, as we always have.
Under President Biden, our friends are stronger, our enemies weaker.
This is not about party or politics. It's about the security of the United States of America.
A strong economy at home, a respected America abroad. President Joe Biden.
You've got to be kidding
an American president.
The Lincoln Project paid for this ad.
Okay.
Everything there is true if you just believe the opposite.
Yeah.
This is opposite ad. Everything we have said, if you just flip it around, it's completely true.
Right. We're so much stronger. So much better off. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Now, just be sure that on Election Day, when the time comes, you aren't posting memes that could get you thrown in prison for 7 months, like Douglas Mackey learned last week.
Yeah.
He was tossed in the old pokey.
For a meme.
For a meme.
Do we still have that meme?
I don't know that we have the meme. The meme was a lady standing there, and it said something like, avoid the line.
Oh, right.
Vote from home.
Mm-hmm.
Text Hillary to 59925.
And if you're that stupid that you believe that, you shouldn't be voting anyway.
So the thing is that he could have picked any random
satire. Everybody
picture.
knows.
Right.
Satire.
Can you imagine all of the times we've said on radio?
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
How many times would we have been thrown in jail in this new America for saying, all right, Democrats, it's so busy today, you're supposed to vote tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But the thing is that there was a black lady standing there supporting Hillary, and the judge said, oh, you were looking to suppress the black vote. I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
Screw you, man.
Oh, jeez.
I just... So 7 months
that
for
itself
him.
is racist.
Right, exactly. So we got 7 months, as somebody, the In Wokeness tweet pointed out there, 7 months for Mackey. Do you have the other part of that? There we go. But all of these intelligence folks that perpetuated the Hunter Biden is Russian misinformation lie on the eve of the 2020 election that would have changed the outcome, despite any shenanigans that may have been happening at the time. That right there, those people, because they're part of the government and the bureaucracy, they're fine. There's nothing about them there's no punishment for them. But this guy's going to jail for 7 months. This is not America.
God, it's crazy. Meanwhile, in Argentina, their economy minister, Sergio Massa, defying expectations by winning more than 36% of the vote in Sunday's presidential election, He's on course then for the runoff contest with far-right candidate Javier Milei.
Yeah, this is the guy that we love, the libertarian guy.
Yeah.
Who's always making those videos.
He's pretty brash and outspoken.
Yeah. He understands Bitcoin. He understands the bloatedness of government.
Mm-hmm.
And he did better, is my understanding, in the other round than this. Like this
Really?
person that's a part of the government, this finance minister.
Yeah.
You're a finance minister for a country that has 140% inflation.
140%.
Poverty is getting out of control in Argentina, and they
Wow.
want us to believe that he did better than Milei last night. Okay, we'll see. So these two are in a runoff on November 19th, and it would appear that things are already stacked against Javier Milei.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like the way this is going.
Milei seems like a great candidate. I mean, I haven't paid super close attention, but some of the things that he said are just, well, they're Donald Trump-esque. And
that's what they're afraid of. Another Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So it just feels like, especially when you've got a month before the next round.
Yeah.
It just feels like
shenanigans are on the way.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's where we're headed with this.
Meanwhile, we got a little indication of who Sheila Jackson Lee, one of our most revered members of Congress.
That's the word.
She's brilliant. She's sweet. She's reasonable. And there's some leaked audio that was obtained by Current Revolt, which shows Sheila Jackson Lee berating a staffer? No.
Say it ain't so.
That can't be. Here's what she had to say to this particular staffer with a few bleeps in it.
Regarding something that was over at Duncan Tail. Where is it? What date was it?
Oh, from yesterday. Jerome took it upstairs. I have to call him. He took it up when I switched out the pictures. I'll call him.
I don't want you to do a thing. I want you to have a brain. I want you to have read it. I want you to say, Congresswoman, it was such and such date. That's what I want. That's the kind of staff that I want to have.
Okay.
So some stupid other mother did it, and I don't have the information. Nobody sent me the information. I need to ensure my schedule. And, if Boo-Boo did it, ass did it, face did it, and nobody knows a thing in my office. Okay? Nothing. I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, imprint it in your brain, or send me the information back saying,
because I'm too dumb to do
I
it
made
myself.
sure that the Ovi Duncan Tell event that you gave me for so-and-so date at 7 is on the calendar, not to, Jerome has it. Okay? So when I called Jerome, he gonna be sitting up there like a fat-ass, stupid idiot talking about what he doesn't know. Okay? Both of y'all are up the F. It's the worst that I could have ever had put together. Two big-ass children. Idiots. Serve no purpose. Ain't managing nobody. Nobody's respecting them. Nobody gives a about what you're doing. And you ain't doing And this is an example of it. I gave it to Jerome. This is not child's work. Okay?
Okay.
She is.
All right, she's
hideous.
fun. She's fun.
So I just did some math there. 16 bleeps.
All right.
Over the course of...
How many F words?
85 seconds. I don't know
About
how many
12.
F words.
I think most of them were F words.
I just know that that was an average of one bleep per every 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Thanks, Daniel. Good job on
nice.
helping out the Congresswoman's message there.
But it just shows why she's so revered and why she's won about 38 terms in Congress. Jeez.
And the thing that she's mad about there is she's saying to her staffer, look, I need you to understand this whatever thing inside and out so that you can download it into my feeble brain that doesn't have the time to even care about what I'm talking about. She's basically saying, look, I need you to be my brain because I'm too lazy to learn this topic.
Yeah, well, too lazy and incapable also. Let's not forget, this is the woman who was at a NASA tour and asked them if the flag, the American flag, is still flying on Mars. And
is it though? Is it?
No, it is
It's
not. No, it's been taken by aliens. aliens landed there.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
They didn't lock it down. They should have taken a bike rack with them to the moon.
Exactly.
Or, I mean, Mars.
Mars, yes. Now, there is an American flag on the moon. However, since America has not landed a man on Mars, we do have some unmanned things, and I don't know if we had at that point when she asked them, but could one of those have planted a U.S. flag on Mars? I don't think even that was possible, really, but she is butt stupid.
Yeah.
Has always been butt stupid and continues to be butt stupid.
I've lived in her district. It's fun.
Yeah, I know you did.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a place that needs her attention.
It's her district.
It would be the 3rd Ward of Houston, Texas.
Where she continues to be reelected at, like an 80% clip. Should be like 83 to 16, and somebody else will get a percentage or two. It's it's election after election cycle. It's amazing. And she's terrible. And everybody knows she's terrible. And yet they just keep sending her back.
It's because she's so nice and personable. As
yeah,
you saw on that clip we played.
Right. And that's why, again, she's so revered.
It's her charm that's getting her sent back to D.C. every 2 years.
Definitely charming. Mm-hmm. I will say this for her. She's gutsy, though. Do you remember I think you were there when we did the Rally for America, right? In downtown Houston?
Absolutely. I booked every guest for that thing. Yeah.
And in fact, she just showed up and asked to speak.
After her office had rejected us very plainly multiple times.
Right. And we told her it's not partisan. We're just here to celebrate America.
So she probably sent Jerome or one of her staff members that she was mentioning there and berating to our little event. Yep. Realized how large the crowd was there in Houston and said, all right.
Yeah. About 25,000 people or so downtown. And
I guess I'll show up.
She showed up for that because anytime there's a camera, you can find Sheila Jackson Lee trying to be in front of it. All right, got overtime coming up. We will see you back here tomorrow for Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.